Hi there. This is a quick update in reaction to news leaks coming out through Twitter about whether or not Daeron or even Nettles are in House of the Dragon Season 2. These came out from a reliable news source, House of the Dragons, who has posted a lot of other leaks before that behind the scenes, I'm on the private Discord with them, I've seen evidence for. And this is short, this is really just a teaser for my full outline coming after this. As I have already said weeks ago, we don't think Daeron is even in Season 2, or if he is, it's a cameo. Simply because going over all the casting info, because as opposed to clickbaiters just wandering in and saying what they want to hear after months of not paying attention, I've been following all the filming news week by week since it began in April. Me and the rest of the hardcore fan spy community, like Wake the Dragon, House of the Dragons, they haven't cast anyone associated with Daeron and his Reach storyline, like Lord Tarly, the Caswells, the Rowans. So that storyline definitely isn't in it. And if Daeron is in it, it might just be briefly. And about a week ago, House of Dragons said the same thing, that there was a new update that Daeron wouldn't even be in it at all, that the people we speculated on playing him, they were just trolling us. That doesn't come as a surprise to me, nor am I upset, because they're not going very fast in Season 2. That from everything we saw in spy photos, just the clickbaiters keep going, Battle of the Gullet is the Season 2 finale, Battle of the Gullet is the Season 2 finale, and it's when they took a 10-episode season, supersized it into 16 episodes, then split it in half to two 8-episode seasons. All of this I said when we first got that news. They're adapting it at a slower pace. It's like hearing Book 3 was split across Seasons 3 and 4 of Game of Thrones. I can't wait to see Tywin die at the end of Season 3 because it's Book 3. And they split it in half. That is the end of Book 3. And it might not even be at the end of Season 3, the Battle of the Gullet. It might actually be earlier, but from all the filming evidence, they haven't filmed a major naval battle. Like, we would have noticed, we would have seen from casting leaks that isn't there. And we're not entirely sure what the endpoint is, but the clear thing was they haven't cast anyone associated with Daeron. And this isn't a problem, because his Reach storyline arguably happens around the same time as the Gullet. You could easily do it in Season 3. The bigger issue, also from source House of the Dragons and who he's talking with on the set and stuff, is he said Nettles doesn't appear in Season 2. Which we found is odd because we've seen spy photos of the Dragon Seeds, Targaryen bastards, lined up on the beach for tryouts to claim the unclaimed dragons there. And we've seen, and I hate it when people keep going, that's got to be Nettles, that's got to be Nettles. I made a video pointing out, in the wide shot, there's more than one black woman lined up. There's at least two. And you have no idea which of those two women is Nettles. Just you got so fixated on the one in the close-up that's the black woman standing next to Kieran Boo in a close-up because we know he's Hardy Hammer. As opposed to there's more than one there. We don't even know which of these actresses could be Nettles. My simple answer, thankfully, I saw the weekly podcast by winteriscoming.net's pretty decent with Daniel Robb and Dan Selke said the same thing, that based on all the leaks, Battle of the Gullet isn't until Season 3, and Nettles claims her dragon later than the other ones. That they say no one thought Sheepstealer could be tamed because he's like a Mustang, he's a wild dragon's never known a rider, and she just slowly gets him to trust her by leaving sheep out for him. You'd expect Nettles would show up later than the other ones because her taming process took longer, right? That from what we've seen, the sowing of the dragon seeds, while I say it's in Episode 7, there's a big scene of it in Episode 7. It might be a process that even for Hard Hugh Hammer and everyone else, lasts more than one episode. So the claiming of new dragons might start in Episode 7 with, Silver Dennis getting killed and stuff, but only culminate in the first episode or two of Season 3. It's a process. It takes a long time. So Nettles might only show up at the end of that process in the Season 3 premiere. And here's where it all came together for me. They said that, that's winteriscoming.net saying that. Same thing, I agree, that even if Nettles is in season 2, she'd show up in the second to last episode and not have much to do yet. Unless you think, no, they're cramming everything in. Listen to yourself. This is back to like season 8 stuff where people heard there's 6 episodes and said, oh, they'll all be 2 hours each. They'll cram things in. No, they won't. Casting sheets, time durations. There's only so much that happens in given episodes. How do we reconcile this with the spy photos? I think, or I suspect what they're doing is a lot like what they did with Stannis' wife in season 2, where they hadn't really cast the role yet, so they just had a noblewoman standing next to him, implied to be his wife, played by a glorified extra, so they could go back and say he has a wife, and oh, she was there just in the background, played by a spear carrier. Same thing, that I think we'll see wide shots of the dragon seeds lining up, and you'll see that one or two of them, at least 2 of them, are black women in the background. But then, when time comes to actually show them in close-up, Season 3 premiere, that's when they're actually going to cast Nettles. Another example would be Jaqen H'ghar, is the prisoner in the cart at the end of Season 1 who's got his hood down over his face in the Season 1 finale, because they hadn't cast the actor yet. So I think, like, they're having female black extras in the background, so when they later do close-ups in the Season 3 premiere, they can claim Nettles was there, we just hadn't cast the role yet. But all of this really ties into, from everything we saw, Nettles is not a prominent role in Season 2, even if she was in Episode 7. Other scenes did introduce her. The other dragon seeds they're actually introducing pretty early and building up. Like, as early as Episode 2, you will be seeing the Velaryon bastards, Adam and Alan, and a couple of other ones that they're introducing slowly. So, while there is some credence to these rumors, I'm not really concerned, because, conclusion of the whole video, it lines up with all the filming leaks that they are going at a slow pace, not skipping anything, which is a good thing. That by the same token, oh, they're reducing the role of the black female character, they are inventing storylines for Rhaena in the Vale in Season 2. That if we got Nettles, it would take away from Rhaena's screen time. So I'm fine with that. That this is encouraging. Remember when all this happened, when he said, oh, it's 8 episodes, I said it's because they doubled the episode order, then made it Season 2A and Season 2B, essentially, but they're calling it Season 3. People going, no, the Battle of the Gullet needs to happen next season. Why? Why do you want to rush to the end? There are people who want the final battle in Season 2, who are going, I can't wait for when that main character kills that other main character. At the end of the story, there's people who wanted the Red Wedding at the end of Season 2 or something, because I can't wait for it. It's everything we've seen is they're going nice and slow and expanding the story from the outline it was. It's a little harder to gauge because they weren't originally a novel per season. There aren't novels, it's an outline, but they've been setting up Nettles so much. They're setting up Sheepstealer, her dragon. They have stressed so much there are 3 wild dragons. They have said the wild dragons are our favorite designs out of all the dragons. So they're taking their time and introducing all the other characters to give the other characters their due. I'm not worried about whether Nettles is in Season 2, because we really don't think Battle of the Gullet is then, so much as, are you actually going to give us a scene where Baela is training with her dragon Moondancer to ride it? That she said in that deleted scene, I have a dragon, I'm a dragon rider. Well, her dragon it's younger than Arax. It's not big enough to fly between islands yet. In the book it says she'd flown it around the courtyard a little, but then in the months after the war began with Rhaenys, she'd fly back and forth between Dragonstone and Driftmark, training her dragon to ride longer distances. But I want to see something just for 60 seconds showing she has a dragon, it's a juvenile, but it's growing every day, dragons can grow pretty fast. I'd rather have the screen time developing those characters than racing to introduce new ones and not giving anyone enough screen time. So I'm not worried about this, and this whole video is just a short preview of the longer Season 2 episode-by-episode outline, which I'm making based on, it's November now, on over 6 months of week-by-week filming reports what we think is happening episode by episode. Not as detailed as Season 1, but we have a decent idea of what Season 2 is doing. And I'm actually really looking forward to it, and I don't think they've cut anything, just they're going at a slower pace. Some things they're not going to get to until Season 3. This isn't like Game of Thrones, where they were racing to get done so they could run off to have a movie career.